August is shaping up to be another month for G.I. Joe here at the channel, as another brand new G.I. Joe classified figure has made its way to the laundry room. So let's take a look at what it is. Stick around. Why did I say find out who it is like it's some big surprise? I mean, it's in the thumbnail. What was I thinking? What? It's in the thumbnail. Hello, fellow dorks and dorkettes, and welcome to It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room. My name is Rob, and in this episode, we will be unboxing, playing with, and reviewing a new G.I. Joe classified figure that I finally got in the mail. Now, I shouldn't say I finally got it in the mail like it was lost or it was a pre-order. No, this is one that I've been hunting for the past few months, I guess. And I missed out on the pre-order window for it, which that window seems to shrink, so much every day. Every time they announce new figures and they throw a pre-order up, I feel like you need to not have a job, just be sitting in front of the computer or at your phone to be able to strike, because 9 out of 10 times, I'm always a day late and $1 short, even though it's only like 15 minutes since they started. Anyway, my griping aside, I am so happy that I finally got Storm Shadow. And this is the one that's more akin to the Generation 1 Storm Shadow. And, I'm happy to say that I was able to pre-order, years ago now it feels like, the first Storm Shadow that they released, which is the version 3 Storm Shadow, I think. I think that's how it plays out. The, hooded, cowled, black and white one. Not the camo one, just the black and white one. Anyway, they deemed it the Arctic version of Storm Shadow, and this is the OG version of Storm Shadow. Now, they also released, or pre-ordered recently, and I was late for that as well, the retro cardback version, but this is pretty similar, other than like the cleanness and crispness of that version. This one's a little bit more, gritty and realistic of, the whole classified toy line. I'm just rambling at this point, so why don't we just get to what you came here for? Storm Shadow.
Yo, Joe!
Okay, folks, here we go. Storm Shadow. Okay, when they first released the Arctic whatever version of Storm Shadow, a year or two now, I really questioned why, because you would think that they would hit the ground running with this version of Storm Shadow. And yeah, I don't really know why they waited, but from what I can see on the outside, this is a really awesome looking figure. Like I said, they are releasing a retro cardback version exclusive at Walmart and through Pulse, like the Gung Ho one that we just looked at. And they're very similar. I see the retro version having a more cleaner appearance, like the original toy, and more like the cartoon, and he has bare hands, which I just realized looking at all my classified figures, the only figure I have that doesn't have gloves on is the retro Gung Ho. Really weird, because yeah, I was thinking of a couple quick customizations I could make for bare hands, and none of them have any. So I wasn't able to do a quick swap like I thought. But anyway, let's take a look at the package first. Let's take a look at this artwork. I really like it. It's very I don't know how to say it. It's not traditional Japanese, but it's the modern interpretation of like classic art from Japan. I really dig it. Have a bunch of shuriken flying. I love how his arm wraps around here. And you have him jumping down. We have the new artwork on the back. And looking at this artwork, I mean, I'm kind of surprised myself that there's only a couple that I'm missing so far. And I'm hoping one day to get them, but yeah, I really like this artwork. Not just for the fact that my collection is pretty nice so far, but it's just really nice how they evolved it to add the new characters and such. Now, as usual, I don't know what these symbols mean. I'm too lazy to look them up, but I have fun trying to figure out what they are. So I'm assuming this skull means that he's a killer, an assassin. Got a sword or knife or what have you. That he's good at martial weaponry. I'm not really sure what this is supposed to be. It looks kind of like a fence with barbed wire. So maybe that's infiltration, or it's a cage with a little rat inside. I don't know. I'm sorry, it wasn't really on the screen. I'm going with fence with barbed wire, but rat in a cage is a close second. Now this looks like a shuriken with a gear. So technology crossed with ancient weapons? I don't know. Like I said, I'm just too darn lazy to hop online and see what they are. But here we go. And I'm just going to hop off here. I'm going to skip the unboxing part to save some time and to save your ears from all the crinkling and popping of plastic. So, yeah, stick around. He'll be right back, free from his plastic casket. Okay, he's safe and secure outside of his package, and I am using the figure stand that came with Gung Ho now for my unboxing videos, since I waste so much time trying to get them to stand. So voila. Even though it was hard to get his feet on the pegs because the holes in his feet aren't very deep and they were a scotch too small, so needed a little bit of finagling to get that to work. Anyway, here he is, and first impressions, I like that they included, here, let's get a close-up here, this, like, you know, the overhang from his outfit, from his shirt down here, and his belt. This is a movable piece. So that kind of gives the awesome impression of a long shirt without it being like molded to the figure and hampering any movement. Also, it probably allowed them to reuse a crotch or leg piece. So you just have to move it down a little bit, but it's movable, so it doesn't really hamper, you know, the waist movements or anything. So I thought that was neat. Also, I was darn sure, since it's featured in the artwork on the package, that these would pop off these little pegs. I mean, it's definitely molded on there that there are pegs for the shuriken, but alas, they are molded on here. So that's kind of a bummer. I thought those would pop out. Also, we have Cobra insignia. The one thing that the Arctic version is missing. The Arctic version is covered in Arakakashi symbols, but no Cobra symbols. So in my little classified universe, he's a member of G.I. Joe wearing that uniform. Really thick arm pads here. They could have done without that, but still really great. I love the wraps here, and they're a little dingy. And he has like thick padded gloves for like punching the crap out of people. Now, let's take a look at the accessories and how they fit onto his body. Look at that. Look at that cake. What's going on with that molding job? But we have, okay, another detail is this here is his hood down. So one of the accessories it comes with is a hood, but it's connected, it's sealed. So it's meant for you to pop his head off and probably change out this down hood to put the up hood on. Really neat addition, but my Storm Shadow will not be wearing that because I want the original look. So let's set him here. And first thing, as we had him around here, looking at the buns of steel, he's got a little post here. This is for his belt. So I think that's a fun little thing. Look at that. Now, it would be super awesome if it was in the front, like the original, and like the retro card back one has the exact same thing, but in the front. So, might be a little custom job to get it to hang in the front. I mean, it's not a big deal that it's in the back, but I'm just being a stickler. Now, real quick, as we start outfitting him here, put this hood here off to the side. My little diatribe about how hard it is to get these figures, I apologize, because at the end of the day, I have fun, and it's kind of neat to have a virtual hunting experience. I mean, when you're hunting out in the wild, you're not always going to turn up lucky. So it's just emulating that on a very, virtual scale. So with him, I, missed the pre-orders and the pre-order for Spirit. So I'm still trying to hunt him down. But Amazon, it popped up that they had some in stock. So I was able to get him for market value, and it's just amazing because I order him and, just buy it right this minute. I didn't even mess around with putting it in my cart. Like 5 minutes later, I just take a gander and it's back to the other seller's option, and they're selling it for double the price, upwards to $60, and it's insane. Just a crazy collector's world that we live in. Okay, here is his backpack. Now, very reminiscent of the one that came with the Arctic version. Got the Arakakashi symbol and everything. The one big difference that they did with this that I appreciate so much, and I wish they would have did it with that, because he came with a single arrow in that version as well. They put a hole here to add the arrow to the quiver. Now the Arctic version does not have that. So that is a really nice addition. And sorry for the light if that looks too dark. But look at that. It's just a little hole. Boom, done. Not going to lose it as easy. So let's go ahead and put the backpack on him. It's meant to be kind of cocked to the side, I assume, or at least that's how he's going to be wearing it here. It's always a pain in the butt when you gotta go through a outfit piece like that. So that looks pretty good. Let's see what it looks like from the front. Rad. So that brings us to, because we had the sheaths here, his katana and wakizashi. Now, let's get this. As you can see, these have snake heads. Definitely, different than the original, but really neat. I think that's a really cool addition, and it's a really nice, molding job for just such a little tiny snakehead. Again, a little blurry. That's because he's in the background. Let's take him out. Do this hand thing that I see all the other pros do. Very nice. So we will put it here before we play with them and compose them. And the wakizashi is the same way with the little tiny snakehead. So, looks great from the back. Let's see what it looks like from the front. Awesome. I mean, complete package there. Now, I also noticed something else real quick, and I think I'm right. We'll have to play with it here. Something that's also different about his back piece from the Arctic version is this little nub right here. Now, I just assume, looking at it, because I just glanced at it, that his bow will fit. It looks like a key to fit in this hole here, maybe? Looks about the same. Boom! Look at that. Everything right there on him. Okay. That gets 100% from me, because my little accessory shelf, or I'm sorry, drawers, are full of various bric-a-brac that just does not fit on any of the characters. So it's awesome to see everything on him. And it's very akin to, his original, how everything fit in his awesome backpack. Now, that being said, I would have liked to see him have, a ninja short bow opposed to this big compound job, because his compound bow didn't come until version 2. And also, I'm sorry, but the compound bow is more of a Zartan thing, in my opinion. So, now that we have him geared up, let's play with some of the gear and see if we can get some cool poses going on. Sorry for the lighting. It's all work in progress, hopefully. Oh, look at this. So they're like archery gloves. He's got 2 free fingers. Sorry. 2 free fingers there. Here. They're all covered. So that's pretty nice. Let's see what we can do with these swords. Oh, they're always... the hands are always so stiff. Of course, we have washer noise in the background. I mean, that's very basic, but it works. He's ready to take on Snake Eyes. Nope, see? These posts here on this thing are just a little bit too thick, and his feet aren't deep enough. So, I'm sorry, it was off camera, but his feet came off of the stand, which I have to appreciate the stand. I think Paul should bag up, get 20 of them for $20 or whatever. I know they won't be that cheap, but it would be nice to have a whole bunch of them. And I have a bunch of ninja weapons left over from the Cobra Red Ninja that weren't able to go on his person, so you can always have him have some extra gear. And I have a bunch of figure stands that I got from some of my Japanese toys that if I wanted to have him like diving down, I could. Oh. Anyway, I was using the stand to escape this. Why am I messing around with getting him the stand yet again? But here, I'll just put my finger there. That's a pretty cool pose. So let's take a look at the bow real quick. I'll show you how hard he is to put on this stand. Yeah, but it would be nice to get, they could sell a Joe pack with the star, maybe a Cobra pack. Now, I don't know what the retro card back Cobra figures come with. But it would be cool if they were Cobra insignias on their stands. But we'll play with this bow a second and then wrap this up. Grab the... Oh, the one arrow fell out. So he has his fingers knocked here. Put that in, that's pretty cool. Oops. Okay, just a quick design issue here. His arrow quiver should be facing the other way for him to... Oh, this isn't stretchy enough to pull the string back. Oh, come on, cooperate before I break this fragile little arrow. I mean, definitely could be a little bit better. But from here, it looks pretty awesome. Man, sorry about the lighting. But anyway, we are going to leave it there with this cool action shot. And anyway, thanks for watching, and now back to me.
Okay, back to me. Now, this is something I have said probably a few dozen times now in regards to the G.I. Joe classified figure, but I love it. It's a great figure. They did a great job. I don't think I have seen a classified figure that I have disliked. I mean, they all have been winners, in my opinion. I know others out there have their own opinions, and that's cool, but I'm just a simple dude that likes to play with toys, and you hit a few check marks in my book, and you got a winner. But it's so fulfilling to finally have a OG-esque Storm Shadow within the ranks. I mean, like I said, for a year or two now, dare I say it's been 2 years, 2+ years since the line started, but to have an original Storm Shadow, because that is a figure that they should have had from, the launch. Now, I love the Arctic Storm Shadow very much, but I just think it was really weird that they kicked off his, line within the toy line with that one. I mean, it's what, version 3, I believe, of the Storm Shadow mythos? Maybe 4? I'm not sure. That's, unfortunately, you're heading into Ninja Force territory, and I kind of don't know anything about that side of Joe, because I kind of was forced out of collecting by that time frame. So, anyway, both are solid figures for separate reasons, but the thing that will, be 1,000% in my book is everything has a place. I mean, his backpack holds everything. The only, extra bacchanalia was his hood, and yeah, I could display him with the hood, but why? I already have a Storm Shadow with a hood, so I will put the hood away and maybe have a need for it one day, but I highly doubt it, because that is the version of Storm Shadow I've been wanting for a while. So there he is. I might even take off the hood in down position. I mean, he doesn't really need that either. I mean, to look like a crisp, clean, OG version of the figure. Now, I'm not one to grab every variant. I usually will see a variant and make a choice, like I did with Gung Ho. But I do have to say, if the retro cardback one pops up somewhere on my radar, I might get that one as well. I mean, I did get the, Commando version of Snake Eyes when I kept telling myself I wouldn't, but I did, because it's essentially a whole different character from a whole different era, if you will. So it's fitting, I mean, to have both versions, Ninja version and Commando version. Anyway, it's late, I'm rambling, I'm just super stoked to have him in my collection, and the collection's shaping up pretty good. And let me just say, I apologize for lighting issues, camera issues, what have you. The camera, it's new, I'm still working out the kinks. The lighting, it's been a problem for a while, and I've just been half scared, half lazy to climb up in the ceiling and change the ballast in it. But anyway, we're making do with what we can. This is like guerrilla toy reviewing, so I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you got something to say, please leave a comment. I love reading them, and I love getting back to everybody. And if you're new around here and you enjoyed this, or any of the episodes that YouTube is recommending down here, please hit subscribe. And if you hit that little bell icon, you will be notified whenever there's a new episode. So anyway, until next time, thanks for watching. Keep being rad, and stay dorky!